Hey y'all. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. I hope y'all can hear me. Listen, this gonna be a quick Monday message, simply because of the energy. Okay. The energy is a little chaotic. I pray you guys are doing absolutely amazing. Welcome back to Next Level Transformation Talks, where we release the old way of thinking, believing, behaving, listening. We dive into inner transformation and personal growth here on this channel. We dive into conversations that challenge our thinking, but we also start our week with some transformative thoughts. Okay, that's what Monday Message is for. And so I know y'all like on the title, y'all like, it's time for what, right? I couldn't put what it's time for in the title. So it is time this week. It's time for another ego death. It has been screaming in my energy for the last couple of days. A lot of you guys are in this space of um, still holding on to this egotistical mindset where you feel like you have to be this all in all person for everybody. Like you have to be in this dominant position. You have to be in this belonging energy. Okay. It's time for ego death. And I'm getting that it's because a lot of you guys are keeping yourself limited. Keeping yourself stagnant. You're keeping yourself restricted in a space of not understanding it's okay to allow other people to, okay, let me say this. Okay, let me just say this from the jump. I'm getting the energy of this ego death. It's stemming from a lot of you guys are having a hard time releasing the need to be everything to everybody. Okay, you feel that you have to continuously be the strong one. You feel like you have to continuously be the reliable one. You feel like you have to continuously be the most dependable one. But I'm really getting strongly that y'all feel like you have to be the strong one. And it's causing you to lose yourself in the process, right? You're in this state of um, burnt out energy. You're in this state of overworking, overthinking, overstimulated. And that's because you feel like you have to be the strong one all the time. You feel like you have to be the one that has everything together. You feel like you have to be the one that has to have everything figured out, right? And in all actuality, it's not that they need you. You just get your rocks off of people needing you. That's why I say it's time for another ego death. Like you have to release this egotistical mindset that if you don't do it, nobody else will do it right. If you don't handle it, nobody else will do it the way that you want it to. Like it's like you are holding on to this image of yourself and it's actually killing you inside because you know you want to say no, but you feel like if you say no, then they're going to talk about you or they may not. They may say things that it's not true. And you see what I'm going with this? It's like the ego death is not of, and I want to highlight this where you it makes sense. A ego death is not solely based upon um, relationships with other people. A ego death is also and primarily a death to an old identity that you've been holding on to and you've been compensating for. That's what that is. And a lot of you guys are holding on to this old identity that you still have to be the strong one, even though you are completely depleted at this time, even though you are very tired, even though you are very worn out, even though you are very stretched beyond your capacity, but you have to be the strong one. I'm getting that a lot of you guys are the strong one in your family. Okay. You have been through a lot, you've handled a lot, you endured a lot, and you just swallowed it up and kept pushing, right? I know. I.e. me. I know. So I get it. I get where it's very hard to put a death to this particular identity of being the strong one. It's very hard. It's one of the hardest ego deaths that you could possibly have, right? Because Once you put a death to you feel like you have to be the strong one, then you get into this mental space of, then what am I actually used for? What am I here for? Right? You start to doubt and question your whole existence because you no longer have to be the strong one. You no longer have to be the dependable one. You no longer have to be the reliable one. You start to get in this mental space of, then, okay, if I'm not the strong one, then who's going to help the family? If I'm not the strong one, who's going to hold everything together when life really throws us curveball? If I'm not the strong, you start to come up with these little scenarios, and ultimately that's just you justifying the fact that you have to maintain being the title of the strong, like you just justifying the fact that you got to remain in this position. Shifting the perspective of the strong one is what I want you to focus on this week, right? Granted, being the strong one has so many different lanes, has so many different avenues. It's not linear. Okay, you could be the strong one mentally, you could be the strong one emotionally, you could be the strong one spiritually, and you could be the strong one physically. Okay, where you can just hold so much on your back and it don't break you. But it's also where you could be the strong one where your spirit is stronger than a lot of people in your family, in your friend group. Okay, you're a prayer warrior. You're one that you can really fight through and hold it for so many people. I'm really young, so family energy, like, yeah, yeah. And again, you're still holding on to that. And I can resonate with that so hard. Hey, Gabe, thank I resonate with that so heavy because it is typically you, it's probably the youngest one in the family, or it's like the oldest one in the family, or it's the only girl in the family. Like the position, it's so linear and it shows up to so many people. But then you get into a space where, how much longer do I have to be the strong one? You start to ask yourself, how much more of this can I actually take? And when we are the strong one, and again, it doesn't matter if it's friendships, it doesn't matter if it's family, if it doesn't matter if it's our relationship, right? Let me tell you, let me speak on this a little bit. Being the strong one in a romantic relationship is heavy. It's very heavy, especially if you are the female. Okay, it's even heavy for the male too, but that's their called position. They're supposed to be the dominant and strong one, right? But for us females, when we have to take on that role in a romantic relationship, it really shifts our emotional state. And then we become very hard in the relationship. Okay. We become very male dominant. Okay. We act like we got a set of cojones, to be fair. We do. We really act like we really in that space that we can do a job plus do our own when we're the strong one in a romantic relationship. And so this is why it's time to ego death this. A lot of us, and I'm speaking primarily to the women because a lot of us have developed this very hard exterior and we're getting away from our softness. Okay. We are supposed to be soft creatures. We're supposed to be very gentle. We're supposed to be in a loving energy. And a lot of us, because of being the strong one, we're very hard, we're very tough. Okay. And it has pros and cons to it, right? Just in every aspect, in every situation. But it's what I'm wanting you to shift the perspective and shift the thought process is feeling as if this is your sole identity. Okay. There's more to you than just being the strong one. Yeah, there's more to you than just being the one who carries the load of the family or carries the load of the friendship or carries the load of your business, or it's more to you than that. And this is why ego death is necessary, simply because when you put to death of that particular identity, it allows the truth. Hey, thank y'all for tuning in, Jose, Antonio, thank you. It allows y'all to truly embody embody your true essence, because your true essence isn't just being a strong one. That's just a characteristic. But a lot of you guys have taken that characteristic and used it as your identity. And this is where you're starting to mentally think like, I can't be nothing else. I can't be weak in this situation. You see where I'm going with this? A lot of you guys have allowed being the strong one as your identity and it's preventing you to be weak sometimes. And sometimes you need to be weak. Sometimes you need to be vulnerable. Sometimes you need to be open. Sometimes you need to be soft. But being the strong one has you thinking that there's no room for that. Being the strong one has you thinking that there's no time for that. Being the strong one has you thinking that I can't be the soft one. I can't be weak in this moment because everybody else is weak. You see what I mean? You're taking on this controlling, dominant um, position that you weren't called to do. It's one thing to have um, a gift to handle tough situations at such a calm demeanor. That's a gift. Okay. To be able to process situations at such a level headed experience, that's a gift, right? But that's not who you are in its entirety. So don't continue to put yourself in positions where you have to be the strong one. Allow people to really reflect within themselves. Be the weak one. Even though you could be the strong one, be the weak one so you can see the people you're keeping around you. Okay. If you're always a strong one in a relationship, or if you're always a strong one in a friend group, or if you're always a strong one in your family circle, that speaks less of them and more of you. Okay. That's why it's an ego death. That's why it's time to put this to rest because now you're starting to limit yourself and degrade yourself to only this particular identity. You're starting to reduce yourself just to be the strong one, and you're way more than that. You're way more than that. And you want people to see that you're more than just a strong one. But then if you're constantly putting yourself in that position to only be the strong one, that's all they're going to know you for. And that's all they're going to call on you for. They're only going to call on you when life is chaotic. They're never going to call on you when things are going great to share in peace, to share in calmness, to share in tranquility. They're not going to call on you for that. They'll call on you when life is chaotic, when everything is upside down, and when things are not going the way that they want you. They'll call you to help you, for you to help them. That's what being the strong one puts you in that space. You never get to experience peace. You never get to experience calmness. You never experience tranquility simply because you have programmed yourself to feel as if this is who I have to be, this is who I need to be. And this puts you in a space of, okay, everybody sees me in this space. So when they are experiencing peace, when they're experiencing calmness, they're not going to call you. They're only call you when their life is in chaotic because you're the strong one. You're the level headed one. Okay. You're the one that can handle multiple things at one time and create some solid strength foundation. You're the only one that can do that. This is why ego death is necessary. You have to release that old identity of feeling as if you have to be the strong one, as if the need feeling is a need. You have to be the strong one. You have to be the dominant one. You have to be the controlling one. You have to be the secure one. If you are the only, this is another one. If you are the only secure person in your group, that speaks less of them and more of you because that puts you in this position where you will forever be the ATM. You will forever be the ATM. You will ever be the loan officer. You will forever be that person people come to you because you are the only secure one in your group. And you can't blame them for being that. They are doing what they are known to do. They are being leeches. That's what leeches do. They latch on to the most successful source. You can't be upset at people for being leeches. You have to do some self-reflection of why am I the most secure one in this group? And why am I allowing myself to continuously be surrounded by leeches? Whether it's family, whether it's friends, okay, whether it's a significant other. Let's talk about that. Okay, if you are constantly in a relationship with somebody who is not a go-getter, and listen, let's just put it on the table. Okay, if you are constantly drawn to somebody that you have to take care of, that's less of the people that you are drawn to and more about you. So you have to do some self-reflection. Okay, you have to take some time and look at myself. Why am I drawn to leeches? Why am I constantly drawn to people that I have to take care of? Okay, there's an ego death within me that I have to kill before if I can say kill, excuse me. I don't know the things that you have to release. There's an identity within myself that I have to release so I can actually be drawn and I can attract people that I don't have to take care of. That's what an ego death does. It allows you to release. And this is going to ruffle some people's feathers. This is going to make some people mad. This is going to make some people bothered because it's causing for self reflection. It's causing them because they can no longer blame. You can no longer blame people for being the strong one. You can't. You have to take some self reflection and be like, why am I continuously being the strong one? There's other people around me. Why do I have to be this? Why am I not okay of letting things fall if it needs to fall? Why am I being the responsible one to put things together? These are the reflective questions you have to ask yourself. So it's no longer that they put you in this position, you put yourself in this position. Let's be fair. You could have did it just like everybody else. Okay? You could have let things fall just like everybody else was willing to fall. And I know in your heart you feel like you just can't do that. In your spirit you feel like you can't do that. Pick and choose. Okay? You don't have to be the complete foundation. And I think that's where we're missing it. To be the strong one doesn't require to you lay on your stomach and allow people to stand on you. That's not being the strong one. Being the strong one is also understanding I am not at a capacity to handle this at this time. That's being the strong one. Okay? Being the strong one is being truthful about that right now, I can't be here in this time, in this present space. That's being the strong one because you're being truthful to your truth. Okay? So this week, I know this is something that is not easy. This is something that you definitely have to work towards, but I wanted to plant the seed of an ego death because it's been ringing in my spirit for the last couple of days. And it's in a space of not necessarily when it comes to what you generally think an ego death is really about you releasing the need to be somebody that you're not comfortable being anymore. That's the ego death. Okay. That's the identity. So self reflect. You may not be the strong one, but you may be the dependable one. You may not be the dependable one, but you may be the most secure one, financial stable one, right? However, reflect on the identities that you hold in people's lives. It's time for us to reflect on the identities that we are holding in people's lives and to be truthful about it to see if this is what I continue, if I truly want to continue holding this identity. That's what an ego death puts you in a space where you actually ask yourself, is this who I want to be to these people? Do I want to continue to be the strong one? If you do, this message is not for you. Then if you do, you shouldn't be complaining about being it. If you are enjoying and if you like being the strong one, do not complain about being it. If you like being the ATM to your family and your friends, don't complain about being it. Okay? It's no longer about them, it's about you. And you have to self reflect and you have to look yourself in the mirror and ask these hard questions. Okay? I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Listen, if you haven't already, visit nextlevelwellness.club to really dive into the community of change. This is what we talk about is resetting, is recalibrating, is a rebirth of every aspect to create inner stability for outward impact. Again, that's nextlevelwellness.club. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Have a good week. Okay. Focus on you. Focus on what you need to do. Right. Take some time out for you. Okay. Until next time.